Alright, here we go. Another live stream. If you're in the chat, say hi. Tell me how the levels are. Say what's up. Let me know how you work musically. I'm gonna just wing it tonight, rock and roll. I promised you real amplifiers. That's what I got over there. We're gonna use the Twin. Old Twin, loud as hell. We got it cranked up pretty loud, especially with these overdrives going in. I've got a dual rectifier over here. I just haven't worked out the levels as well for streaming with it, just because my go-to a lot of times is the Twin, and I've got all that worked out pretty well. The overdrives we're going to do tonight are the Warm Audio Centavo, which it's the Klon Klone that looks just like a Klon, same size, big ass motherfucker, and it sounds good. A lot of people, you can get them modded by Analogman. I thought about doing that, but it's the one I probably use most anyway. I like it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Then we got the Analogman, speaking of, Prince of Tone. We're going to do that. I'm on that long ass waiting list for the King of Tone. And I know there's that new Chase Bliss pedal out too. I don't have any Chase Bliss pedals, but I heard that's a cool one. And the last true overdrive is the V3. That's the version 3 Tim pedal. So I got the Tim pedal after having the MXR Timmy for a while, and I really liked it. I liked it so much. I'm like, let me go ahead and do the real Tim pedal when it came out. And it's the same as the Timmy pretty much, you would think, but it's got a boost side too, so it's like almost like a dual overdrive, but the second side is just the boost. But when I got it, I sold my MXR Timmy, and I didn't plan on doing that. I sold it because compared to the Tim, the MXR kind of sounded like a wet blanket over the amp, and I couldn't really hear that till I put it up against the Timmy up against the Tim, and then I could hear that, and it's just they're hitting different frequency ranges. I think probably the Timmy has a little more low mids. This one has a lot of top end, but it's got a lot of cool switches on it where you can cut the high end, like if you're going into something like the Twin. I tend to just leave it like it is and not cut much low end. I do experiment with that from time to time though, but let's just play one. I'm going to start with the Warm Audio Centavo. Everybody, clones are the thing, so let's listen to that. I'm just going to play. I haven't really warmed up much. I got about 10 minutes of playing in after I got my son to bed, so we're just going to wing it. Let me turn on the amp. I'm going to shut this mic down, take off the phantom power, which mutes it, because if I don't, it's going into an 1176 compressor, and it'll be loud as hell. So, here we go. Alright, I'm going to switch it. We're going to listen to the Tim pedal now. Just the, overdrive side, no boost. You can hear it's got a lot more top end, I feel like, just when you kick the amp on, kick it on. So here we go. Alright, now let's kick on the Prince of Tone. I'm going through them quick, just because. I've also got XTS modded EQ, GE7 EQ. We might try that. Let's listen to this Prince of Tone though. And we'll stack them, because the way I really like to play them is turn down the gain a little bit and stack them, especially into this twin. It's a great sound. Alright, so there's all three. We're going to stack them and play them. I'm going to switch to the Telecaster in a minute. For one thing, this guitar isn't staying in tune great, but it's also a half step down, which I'm playing some, famous riffs right now. Kind of playing them just off memory with no warm-up. But anyway, no excuses. I'm just playing some riffs right now. And they probably sound a little better in standard. And definitely sound better. I don't know why this B string, usually it's my G, it's giving me problems on this Les Paul lately. I do a little bit of work to my guitars. Be careful if you get into filing the nut. It's real easy to file it down a little too much. I've done that on this and it gets a little string buzz, so just be careful. I had it pretty good, and then I went a little farther with it. I was like, a little bit more, But it's not enough to really make much difference unless I'm really nailing that G string. If you're in the chat, let me know how the levels sound. Let me know, what you're doing tonight. It's hump day. I had a long day at work. Just bullshit, we all do. I didn't really, I just wanted to shoot out some overdrives tonight. I might play, I've been working on the vocals on this song. I've got it about done, the lead vocal for it. I've done a few different changes to the song since the last live stream. We've been doing the live streams. The last one I shot out fuzz pedals, which kind of gave me the idea to do this with overdrives. I wanted to shoot out those fuzz pedals, and I was like, well, shit, on the next one, let's do some overdrives. So that's what we're doing tonight. And, they sound really good into this extremely clean Twin. I'm only running the Twin on 3, but it's, loud. Very, very loud in here. Crazy loud, They say it's 85 watts, but it's every bit as loud as my 100-watt Mesa. It's got a 1 JBL in it, which is like a very, high efficiency, heavy ass speaker. That amp weighs 100 pounds. It's on casters, which makes it nice when I have to have it serviced, because if you have vintage amps, you gotta have them serviced. I just had it recapped back in the spring. It sounds good. It was doing this little thing where it would, get this weird, almost like staticky sound in it. It needed recapped. And it's still, if I leave it run or leave it on standby like I'm doing tonight for a long time, it'll occasionally get that sound. Usually if I just mess with the jack a little bit and keep going, it'll work itself out. It's definitely a lot better than before I got that cap job done to it. What kind of overdrives do you all like? I like the ones that are pretty transparent sounding. I know that's a bit of a like cliche thing. I feel like, some people say the Klon's transparent sounding. I really don't think it is. It's got that mid-range bump. And I like to play my Klon with the gain cranked up, you know, unless I'm stacking. If I'm stacking, then I'll a lot of times run that Tim pedal into it. They work well together, and push the Tim a little bit and just use the Klon as a boost. But when I run it on its own, I like the sound of that thing with the gain cranked up, you know, 3/4 of the way. And I know that's not the way a lot of people use them, but I think it sounds killer into that amp that way, especially with the Les Paul. I don't know if this one's in tune or not. I tuned the Les Paul. I didn't tune this one, but it's usually pretty well in tune. So I'm just going to play some more. You want to hear the Rat? I'll put the Rat on too. It's more distortion, but I don't have the distortion, you know, knob cranked up that much on it. So it's doing more of an overdrive thing, but it is hard clip type overdrive. Got my headphone cable. I was working on music in the studio right before this came on because I'm mixing my lead vocal on that song, and I'm probably gonna pull that song up, but I'm gonna mute the vocal because I don't like to give away my vocals before I put the music out. I don't really even like giving away the music, but we're doing these live streams, and that's what I want to talk about, music production. If you have any music production questions, you know what? I might even play something just so you can hear how I work. Let's play a little bit of a video real quick so you can hear how I work in my studio. Let me pick out a song for you. One that I haven't played before, maybe. Let's see. Let's do... let's do this one. I found a video for it. Okay, here we go. Listen to this one. This one's got a pretty chill vibe, and I like this song. Everything came together just the way I wanted on this song, and didn't take a lot of work. And you know, I just left all the sounds pretty natural in it. Look, this is called "Didn't Get No Sleep," Thirsty Deer. I'll play part of it for you real quick, just so you can hear what I do here in the studio, the type of music I make and release. If you got any questions about music production, put them in the chat, or if you're watching later, put them in the comments. I always go back and answer the comments. So this is called "Didn't Get No Sleep," Thirsty Deer by Thirsty Deer. What I want with what I love to do. I gotta nurture and produce, but I can't take my mind off you. Gotta create and raise my son. don't you all love the vibe of live streams? Man, that's what I'm kind of feeling it, because like shit can go wrong. I feel like that's why a lot of people watch live streams. Um, I don't know, man. I like doing them. I kind of like doing them better than the regular YouTube videos. I'm really into doing regular YouTube videos as well because I've got really good at video editing, believe it or not. But the live streams is a new thing, and like I don't know, this is maybe I'm less than 10 live streams, but I've been doing about 3 a week, and this is probably my 3rd week doing them. And like for a while, I would get a couple people click on for just a few minutes during the live stream, but it's like the last video, a lot of people are going back and watching it, or not a lot, but it's growing every time after the video comes out, and like it gives me a little bit of time to work shit out when nobody's watching. So hopefully, when people do start watching, we can have the production at an even higher level. But you're getting studio quality audio in here. Nobody else is doing tube amps live, unless they have this guy Billy Hume. He records like he's recording this band Rehab in the studio, and they're doing everything live with amps and everything. But he's got a console. He's running 2 computers so he can work out all the latency issues and everything. I've got 1 computer. I've got some good rack gear over here. Chandler TG2 mic preamps. BAE 1073, and the TG2s are what's letting me do the live stream because they sum out of both channels, and it works really good because you have to go into 2 channels for OBS. I've never tried StreamYard. OBS has been working good for me, and any little glitches I've had have been like not hitting a button, or like I just did there when I was tuning up a little bit. Not switching over the video, just little shit. But I feel like that's the thing about live streams. What makes them cool is that you never know what's going to happen. It could totally crash and burn. And the first one I did, I was like, this is probably going to crash and burn, but we made it through it. So I got the Tele fairly close. I still got the Prince of Tone on. Let's just play a little bit. Still having tuning issues, but we got it close enough. Alright, Klon. It's between just using one of these overdrives with the tail leaf. I'm just using one. I like to stack them with the tail leaf, but just so you can hear each one with both guitars. I kind of like the Klon with the tail leaf or the Tim, either one. You know, when I say Klon, it's the Centavo. But, just playing, man. Just playing. Trying to get some people in the chat, but you all are not responding. Not, like, probably nobody even saw it. But I do post these things early, you know, so you, like, it'll go out to the subscribers I have, and I don't know how people happen upon chats live. I always catch chats, like, later. I mean, not chats, live streams later. Like, I usually watch Pete Thorne's live stream, and I always catch it the next day. Even though I know it's Sunday live, I watch stuff on the weekdays because I can put my earbuds in at work and listen to podcasts and live streams and whatever. Watch them. You know, man, just trying to make music, trying to, you know, put these videos out. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. I do need to say that because since I've changed the format, kind of, you know, I'm still putting out regular videos. It's just been a little while. I haven't kept to my schedule of one a week because I've been doing so many live streams. And till the algorithm notices this shit, if it ever does, you know, it's like I need some help on subscribers to get this stuff out there. And, you know, I got a lot of good ideas for live streams. I really like doing, you know, making music, actually recording it on the live stream. That's cool. And it worked out pretty good. I thought I was going to have latency issues, but as long as I'm direct monitoring and you all don't mind hearing it off the playback, it's cool, you know. Did you all have a good Labor Day? Was Labor Day cool? My Labor Day was great. It always sucks going back to work. Because, man, like, I'm most creative in the morning. And I have to be up at 4 a.m. I get to work. I clock in at, like, 10 till 6, you know. But, it's just, I don't know, man. You know, you reach a point where you can't really, if you haven't done it with music, you know, you have to just do it with whatever time you do have because you're taking care of your family. And sometimes it's frustrating because there's nothing more I'd rather do than, you know, hang out with my son and then with my minutes that I have, make music and work. Just, you know, a lot of times I'm just drained. But I usually always try to get something recorded and put on the music every night when I'm working on a song. And we've been doing that. I've got the lead vocal. You know, all the music was done. I shared that on the live streams previous to the Fuzz, you know, Shootout live stream. We've changed a couple things on that, just moved around some synth parts. And it's pretty much like it was. And then I didn't have any vocals on it. Now the vocal's almost finished, the lead vocal, but I do have to do a lot of backgrounds. It needs a double of the lead vocal, you know, maybe some other different things going on with the vocal. Like sometimes I'll put like, just do whisper parts on there or blend different stuff in, like maybe some altar voice stuff. If you know about Altar Boy plugin, it's cool, but it's I don't like to do that a whole lot, but sometimes just for one little phrase in the song, putting something through Altar Boy can be cool. You know, doing delay throws, stuff like that. Vocals, I feel like you need to put the, you know, vocals, you get more out of your music if you really take your time with vocals. I take my time with the music too, but vocals is something that, you know, it's layers upon layers and just doubles and getting the blends right between the double and the lead vocal and the backgrounds and getting that level right with the music. There's a lot to it. Did I say subscribe? Subscribe to the channel. Chat, if you see this, chat. You know, I'm all about building a community. I just play music. I make some good sounding music. I feel like my music sounds as good as anything. I feel like my engineering skills, I can make great sounding music. I don't always have time to warm up before these live streams, but I play drums, guitar, bass. That's what I do. Let's listen to the Klon. tuning is a problem tonight. Man, I should probably start off the streams with those fast licks, right? You know, people always want to see the fast licks. But I feel like the fast licks aren't songs, you know? I'm always trying to make songs here, you know? And, like, I know I'll play some stuff that's, like, stuff, you know, like cover songs, but I never do that when I'm in my studio creating, hardly ever, because I'm always writing a new song. What's the time? So, we're at 42 minutes. So what those two pedals are, and I'm sure you can hear the noise through this microphone and the compressor now, but those two pedals are the Tim and the Klon. So it's just the blue side of the Tim, not the boost, and the Klon. Let me play the Tim with the boost on for you and kick off the Klon, let you hear that. So I really like that boost on that Tim pedal, but I like it better with the Les Paul. I think my favorite way to stack those for the Telly is to use just the, overdrive side of the Tim and use the Klon. I like those two. The Prince of Tone sounds good with it too, stacked. I like it better stacked with the Telly. Telecasters, even though the Les Paul has P90s, which are single coils, Telly's Fender guitars need more push going into the amp. It's just how it is. It takes getting that level up there. And if you're using, if you were using two different amps and had them set different, that'd be cool. But most of us aren't doing that. So it's good to have some kind of boost going into your amp if you're playing like a Fender style guitar and a Gibson style guitar. This Prince of Tone has a toggle switch on it. You can go from boost mode to overdrive to distortion. A lot of times I think tonight it's in distortion. I like that distortion sound, especially on the Les Paul. I want to play the Klon Klone boosted with the XTS modded GE7. So XTS does pedal boards and stuff down in Nashville. And they take Boss EQs, the 7-band EQ, and change the EQ bands to mid-range bands. It goes from 400 to, I think, 4.2K. Different selections in there. There's like 4, 8. I'd have to go over there and read them, but it's all mid-range. You know, good guitar frequencies. I think they worked on it with Bukovac. Sounds cool, and it really, it can give your overdrives. If you've just got 3 and have one of those, it's like having 10. You know. Because you can do so much EQing with it and changing the way things sound. So what I'll do this time is kick on the Klon, play for a minute, and then kick on that XTS modded EQ. And I'm just boosting a couple frequencies, like some lower mids around 1.2, I think, and probably a little 2.5 or somewhere in there, and maybe some 800. And I like to cut the 400, because 400, especially on combo amps, not so much with this Twin because it has the JBL, it's loud, it's got an open back, but combo amps can get boxy, and that boxiness a lot of times is around 350 to 400, 3 to 400 hertz, and cutting that frequency is always good in the combo amps, I feel like. So if you have any questions or any, comment on the posts, I'm just, I'm trying to get out these live streams. Things will work a lot better when I get some interaction going on here. If I do, it's just, these things are, when you first start out with YouTube, like I don't see how these people sometimes start and within 2 weeks they're like going viral and shit. It's like, man, that has not been my experience at all. I've been making videos for 2 years, and like I had a good run where I got a video with like 15,000 views. I'd get a video and get like 100 subscribers, like bam, and they were all doing good there for a while. All my videos were staying over 1,000 views for probably a good 3 or 4 months. I think part of it was I went from doing just guitar videos, and these weren't like guitar videos like this. These were, actual edited videos, and videos where I worked out what I was going to play. I didn't just sit down and play with not a lot of time and have tuning problems. I could edit the videos a little bit and get the, I did one on Keith Richards playing, like, this isn't an open G, but we could do like, hold on. But I'll just play this little Keith riff real quick, and this is going to be the Centavo, and then I'll put back on the XTS EQ with it. So here we go. So, could you hear the clarity come in when I kicked on that STS? Let me tell you what frequencies I've got boosted. So, I've got the level just on Unity, the gain, and then just boosting a little bit of 1.2, 2K, and just a touch of 800, maybe 1 dB. And that's it, man. So, tuning problems aside, you know, we got a video. We did a live stream tonight. You know, man, it is what it is. We're trying to get these out and get people seeing them. So hit subscribe. If you dig the music production kind of content, that's what I do. I make music, and it's not always pretty, but we get a good finished product, and they sound great, you know. Like, people need to be creative, you know. Right now in this world we live in, creativity, and you know, I've got a son, and the world is pretty fucking crazy, and things like music is what can neutralize the craziness, even if it doesn't neutralize it in the world, and I believe it can. You know, music, art, poetry, painting, sculpture, people with minds that are in that direction, you know, let me shut this off. Those type of people that don't think inside the box, people that do their own thing, people that don't listen to what other people, you know, the boxes that they try to put people into. They will try to put you in a corner, or put you in a genre, or say you do this or you do that. And it's the creative people and the people that, you know, do what they know gives them peace, and do what they know heals, and do what they know, you know, just it does it for them, man. And it's a pure thing. It's not a bullshit thing. Those kind of people in that kind of world is what can neutralize the hatred and the bullshit and the craziness. And I think it's more important than ever. And I'm not the type of guy that gets to sit in my studio all day and be on fire all the time, and you know, gets to treat it like a 40-hour-a-week job. But I put out a lot of music. I put out an album in the past year and a half. Not an album per se, but I put out 7-8 songs. So it's an album's worth of material, and I've got one getting ready to come out. Y'all have been seeing that happen on the streams, you know, seeing how we make a great sounding rock and roll song. And you can do it, man. And that's about all I got to say. We're at 57 minutes. I'm going to play you another song to roll out with, another video. Another one of my songs. And we'll say goodnight.